Shalom. Call law, all praises unto Yahawah by Simeon shot. Dealing with the war in heaven. Now it's going to be a brief lesson, so I'm going to get straight to the point. Go ahead and get Daniel's 12th chapter real quick. All right, this is Daniel chapter 12, verse 1. And at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince, which standeth for the children of thy people, and there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. Right, so the times that we're living in are the same times that our Lord, who these people call Jesus Christ, we know as YAHAWASH, HaMashiach, he spoke of these times when he walked the earth, as well as the different prophets, just like Daniel, just like many different prophets in the so-called Old Testament. They prophesied of these things to come. Okay, so the Michael, the archangel, he's going to stand up. You know, the Most High is going to have have the angels led by Michael, the archangel, to come up and fight for, you know, the nation of Israel, the remnant. Okay, let me keep going though. You know, because there's going to be race wars, famines, pestilence, concentration camps, martial law, class wars, civil unrest. What else? World War III is going to happen. The crashing of this monetary system is going to happen. So it's going to be times like there never since, like it says, and there shall be a time of trouble such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. And that time, thy people shall be delivered. So the Lord, they're gonna have the angels are gonna rise up and protect the ones that are not, that don't be ones of us that don't become martyrs. Okay, but not all of us. He's going to protect the remnant. As I read on, everyone that should be found written in the book, which is the book which is spoken of, which is also dealing with the book of life. Okay. Now let me, but also too reminiscent upon Ezekiel. So like but it's this. So like this scriptures also ties with Ezekiel the 9th chapter as well. Not only the book of life and spoken of in Revelations, but as well as Ezekiel the 9th chapter. Let me go ahead and get that real quick, just briefly. All right, this is Ezekiel chapter 9, verse 4. And the Lord said unto him, go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. Right. So set a mark, which that mark in the Hebrew is tawal, which means exempt from judgment. Okay. This is the same. So the Lord has ordained a remnant from the very beginning, to just like in the days of Noah, to be saved up out of this hell and destruction that's coming to America, that's coming to the whole world. Okay. So, you know, basically the angels led by YAHAWASH, also with dealing with Michael the archangel and the angels around with him, under him, they're going to set that mark, and they're going to not touch the ones that are sighing and crying, which primarily is dealing with the priests, prophets, and elders, the brothers on the street corners pushing this word out sincerely, truthfully, valiantly for YAHAWAH, YAHAWASH. Okay. And you know, they're going to be the ones protecting and saving that day. Those that not be martyrs, because the ones that be martyred will be taken up. They're going to be lifted up, brought back. They're going to be the ones that to be up in the chariots first. Okay. But let me go ahead and get one more precept, and I'm gonna get right into it real quick. Zechariah 13 and 8. Let me go ahead and get it real quick. All right, this is Zechariah chapter 3, verse 8. And it reads, and it shall come to pass in all the land, saith the Lord YAHWAH, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die, but the third shall be left therein. Right, the third shall be left therein. There's going to be 2/3, which is a large, 2/3, which is a vast majority of our people. We are the number one nation in terms of, because the scriptures speak of us as being the, being as the sand of the sea, sands of the sea, man. So there's a lot of us, but there's going to be 2/3, 66.6% of us that are going to be destroyed. There's going to be a 1/3 that's going to be left therein. Okay. Okay. So the Lord, he's not going to save every Israelite. Okay. And it also dealing with Revelations, the 7th chapter, it also speaks on, the 12,000 of each tribe, the 144,000, each 12,000 men of each tribe, as well as an innumerable multitude, which all this makes up the 1/3, which consists of men, women, and children. Okay. Also to just touch on the point, it's not just 144,000 men. There's going to be other men that the Lord's going to that are part of the 1/3. Okay, that's something that brothers don't really speak on. You know what I'm saying? But I'm going to go ahead and go into Revelation, the 12th chapter. You know what I'm saying? Just because the 12th chapter the 12th chapter in Daniel's the first verse goes and ties in with Revelation, the 12th chapter. Now, let me go ahead and bring this out. It's Revelation chapter 12, verse 7. And there was war in heaven. Right, and it reads, there was war in heaven. Okay, now let me go ahead and bring out a precept before I continue on, because there's a misunderstanding by unlearned, people from various religious dogmas such as Christianity, Islam, Judaism, and Seventh-day Adventists, Roman Catholics especially. They'll tell you that there was a war in heaven, that Michael and his angels fought against Satan and his angels, which this whole chapter is not even speaking about the spiritual demon Satan at all. Okay. It's speaking of the so-called white man. Okay. But the point being, when it reads, there was war in heaven. Look, all the scriptures tell you the Lord controls both good and evil. Okay. There's angels on the left-hand side, which are the wicked angels, and the angels on the right-hand side, which are the righteous angels. Okay, we know this through the various precepts that confirm it. Okay, so we know that that's a false doctrine that certain people push, and I think there's an Israelite group out there that teaches it as well. That'll be off in the mermaids and whatnot. But whatever. But that's far from the point. Let me get this real quick. This is Ephesians chapter 4, verse 14. And it reads, Ephesians chapter 4, verse 14, that we henceforth be no more children, tossed to and fro and carried about with every wind of doctrine. Right? We're not supposed to be carried away by every wind of doctrine and tossed to and fro like little children, because children make, come up with fantasies in fairy tales, such as there was a war in heaven with Michael the archangel against Satan and his angels, and Satan was cast down out of heaven and whatnot. That's a fairy tale, and that's Greek mythology. That's madness. That's I'm not gonna say it, but it's madness. Okay, so we're not supposed to be carried away with that, man. Okay, by the sleight of men and cunning craftiness, whereby they lie in wait to deceive. Right, these fake false teachers in the Christian church and the Muslim mosque and the Seventh-day Adventist, Roman Catholic Church especially, and some fake Hebrew Israelite groups too, will teach you this nonsense, man. Okay, they will teach you that this is talking about some war in heaven, which we know that all these spirits are under subjection to the Most High God, YAHWAH. Okay, but just now continuing on. Revelation chapter 12, verse 7, and I'm going to reread. And there was war in heaven. And we got to understand what heaven this is talking about. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and go into the Strong's Concordance out of the Blue Letter Bible. Okay. Now I'm going to go into the word heaven. Now, I've done this in the previous lesson before, but it's best. But this gives you the best context of what it's talking about. Or at least went into the word in a different lesson in a different book of the Bible. But let me go ahead and bring this out. This is Strong's G 3772, Uranus. Okay, and it reads, the vaulted expanse of the sky with all things visible. Okay. Let me go ahead and read down. Strong's definition, perhaps from the same as G 3735, through the idea of elevation, the sky by extension. Okay. And it goes on to say sky and whatnot. We also know this too by the actual translation in English would be Uranus, who is the Greek, who is a Greek sky god in Greek mythology. Okay. So we know because the New Testament was translated from the Greek language, and also too, when you deal with, if you're familiar with that, with the name Uranus, the Greek god that's dealing with the skies. Okay. So, and there's a heaven on earth. Okay. The various, how should I say it? There's this various conditions that are playing on earth. That's heaven and hell. Black man's heaven is white man's hell. So vice versa. As well as there's the expanded. There's the heaven in terms of the sky. There's a heaven in the space, and there's a heaven in the spiritual realm. Okay. So we have to understand when it speaks of heaven in various verses. You got to understand which one it's talking about. Okay. Now, let me keep going on. And there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought in his angels. See, in Daniel's 12th chapter, the first verse, right? That's giving you an end time prophecy. This is also giving you an end time prophecy as well, speaking of the same thing. And verse 8, and prevailed not, neither was their place found any more in heaven. Right, and this is speaking of the so-called white man in his futuristic tech that he's going to use to fight against against the angels, man. Okay, dealing with the war in heaven is going to be in the skies. The chariots, who these ignorant people call UFOs, we know as the chariots of the Most High that come with fire. There's various scriptures on that. Okay, also too, Satan, when it says the devil, when it says the dragon and his angels, speaking of the dragon, the top elite, Edomite white people, man. And their military might, whether it be at the time that's going to be a NATO, EU, also to when the Russians destroy America and they think that evil thought, this all going to be, this all ties in, okay. But it's dealing with Satan, the dragon, and his angels, okay, which is this white man. The white man's a damn dragon, okay, and the angels, speaking of his various aircrafts he's going to use to fight against the angels, like it says, verse 8, and prevailed not, neither was their place found any more in heaven, okay, because they prevailed not. They're not going to be able to overcome the chariots and the angels, man. All right, verse 9, and the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. Right. So the angels cast out was cast out to the earth, and his angels was cast out with him. Okay. So his great military might, his dealing with his warships, whatever that they're going to be in that day, as well as some of these heathen nations as well. They're going to be fighting amongst the angels in the chariots, and they're going to be cast down. They're going to be brought low. Okay. So, just giving you a good understanding and perspective dealing with the war in heaven. Okay. Through understanding, through through precepts. Okay. Now, with that said, much love to the priests, prophets, and elders that teach this word sincerely and truthfully throughout the four corners. Much love to the brothers and sisters in this truth, that are sincerely in this truth. That said, Shalom.